I haven't even seen this. This is looking even better than last time. OCaml.org, I think, is using HTMX. Yeah. The content pipeline, engaged. The Scuffagen, that's me. Just build SQL. Well, so like, TJ, what if you just built SQL? Wouldn't that be like the easy solution? Wouldn't that be the easy solution? Using Vim as an IDE? Well, NeoVim. Wouldn't that be the easy solution? And it's more of a PDE. With such a massive brain, how do you fit it? Well, my noggin is ginormous. You can't see because there's nothing to compare it to right now. That's why I do just a green screen. But yeah, wouldn't that be the easy solution? Maybe they'll have a micro transaction, turn it into 3D. Because that part would be pretty cool. Wouldn't that be the easy solution? Good job, OCaml. Wouldn't that be the easy solution? Okay. Boom. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we lost our music. Go pin that too. It's actually, I was kind of liking this this one from yesterday. We'll try it a little bit more. Okay. What am I? Oh, right. Right. Hopefully long stream might actually put pixels on in a window today. What's up, Darsh? Good to see you. Oh, we should probably... Our ECS is somehow working in OCaml? First try? Yo, Augustine, hey, thanks for the thing. Is it August in Gomez or is it Augustin Gomez? I've been wondering. Anyways, thanks for the sub. Mahika, good to see ya. Chat. I actually cannot believe how well this is working. It's like actually hilarious. Oh. This isn't really, they're not going for this next song. Oh yeah, we're ready. We're ready. It's... Oh, interesting. I don't think I've ever made one of your streams this early. Well, welcome. Chat, I actually cannot believe this. Okay. Oh, we should make another one of these and call it a camera tag. OCaml? Oh, yo, what up? Because hypothetically, everything should be being drawn by that. I'm gonna check. Give me up to speed on what we make. We're making a game engine. Right now, we're building our entity component system. So far we have components and we have entities, but now we need to start building systems, 2D, because I want to make Vampire Survivors basically. Like that's the short version. I want to make Vampire Survivors with some other stuff later, but Vampire Survivors. Not feeling this. Oh, let's go back to here. Godot's design as reference. I was using Bevy's design. Remake Vampire V Horizon. Well, so the one that I like the most is actually Halls of Torment. I would like to make a Halls of Torment like game, but I want to include programming as part of the game loop. But we're kind of far away from there. We did have a game going before this where you could start doing, but now we made our whole own ECS and everything. So we're like in the middle of solving that. I'm like, thanks. I'm having fun. So camera 2D create. What does this actually even take? Offset, target, rotation, and zoom. Create, offset, targets. I don't know. What does that even mean? What is the offset and target for a camera even mean? It lerps. I don't know. One of my hobby projects is create a parser for the files used by Skyrim engine so that people can make full unique kind of like Lost City. And that sounds cool, Nola. Yeah, I don't really get what the purpose of this is. We'll figure that out in a sec. Oh, we don't actually have to pass the player around. We need to do a query lookup. Okay, so the next thing we need to actually do is we have to make something that actually searches our existing queries or searches our existing like components to find a thing that matches this. This just finds one component. But we need to look for... We basically need to look for something like this. We want to write iterates through all components and finds matching entity sets or something like this, basically. So what would you do here? You would basically have you do like, we'll call this like let iter, and it's going to take a lookup and it's going to take a query. And for now, let's just have that return a list of stuff. So that you would just like return a list of something. So in this case, we'll type this out so that we can remember what this looks like. And then this would be query T. What did I call this again? Okay. I don't know the progress going in OCaml for opt-in manual memory management. What do you mean the are you talking about the Jane Street stuff, J-Pop? It's very easy on the eyes. It's a combo of these two colors. I think it's these things, but it looks slightly different because I have some manual changes and stuff. At some point, I might update them so it actually works, but we're not gonna do it today. J-Pop. So the locals, Jane Street is like running right now, like in production, moving. You know, they're like whatever trillions of dollars a year. Part 2, they're getting close on. They have like a prototype, but I don't think it's actually getting used in like the 3-part article series. And then the part 3 of modality with some of the ownership stuff is still somewhat exploratory, I think. But you can actually test it out on their fork if you want. We're programming a game engine today. What's up, Alberto? Good to see you. All right, so how would this work? So we would need to, like, what we need to do is we definitely need to hash table dot iter but we actually kind of want to like iter over the query. Maybe we need to go back to query. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, these don't like each other now. There we go. Okay. Oh, in the upstream process, have you started moving on locals? So I think they're not gonna try and get them separately. I think they're gonna try and get the whole package done first to make sure that like nothing in locals, the like modality of locals, blocks the other things. Is my understanding, Nola. I have some insight into this talking to some people from there, but not like 100. I'm not getting consulted about it or anything like that. But my understanding is they'd like to do it as one big package, so that like all the pieces fit together, right? Because that's the nice thing about iterating on language features at Jane Street, is they can just change it and have breaking changes, and they fix it inside, and then they upstream the best version that they can come, or like offer an upstream of the best version they can come up with, right? So I think the main stuff is the main stuff preventing it so far is that they're looking to figure out how polymorphism is going to work with some of these. There's like something with mode polymorphism that they're still not, I think, like is actively under research, basically. They're not sure what they're going to do. Give me ideas for Vim stuff. I don't know if it gave me other ideas of stuff. Yeah. But it was really fun. So that was cool. So, but my understanding is the progress is actually going pretty well. Like all things considered, of the like this article, I think this is part 1. This one, like, this isn't like, oh, this would be cool. This is actually like they're running production on this. Part 2, I think they have a prototype that does a bunch of this. And part 3, I thought they were still chatting about how they would do this. Yeah, so they're still looking at how to do some of these things, but you can like literally try it out, which is cool. Is he really half him an MLR? But I want it to fail for all the other cases here. Okay. So we need to have basically some way to like iterate over a query, or like turn a query into a sequence of components. Kind of like flatten them out almost. But does that even make sense? It's going good, King. What about you? Because, okay, so here's basically the problem, right? Eventually we need to get components. What would you even do for this? This is the part I'm not sure how to do, because so basically you're gonna make a query that's gonna look something like this. We have some in our tests. Like this. Actually, this is a good example. Okay, so you make these. And then you want to should develop a custom file format or ECS query from disk efficiently. Because it would be super neat, but not because it's practical. Oh, okay, we'll think about it. First, we need to actually... oh, dang. First time chat into Twitch Prime. Love it. Chat, I don't know if you know, but you can use your Twitch Prime here as well. It's pretty cool. Yeah, we need to actually have an ECS that works first, but then we'll think about how we could do some really cool stuff with it. So my thought is we make a query. Then what do we want to do? We want to basically like iterate over all the matches, right? That's okay from you. You don't have to. You can just do a really good talk for NeoVimConf and everyone will be happy. So how would we do this? We have a system. Because I don't want to do this. I don't want to query by an ID. I want to run some function against all of them. So like what would I think about doing? I would want to do something like lookup dot iter. And what am I going to pass? I'm going to pass in my lookup. I'm going to pass in a query. And then I'm going to pass in some function. The function would be ID, and then like comp1, comp2, this kind of thing. Like this. First time watching you stream, had come to so much Prime. And the Vim effect, I guess, led me here. Nice. Well, welcome. We certainly do use NeoVim here. Are you reading a book or something? Why are you looking down? When? Right now? I'm looking at chat. You're right here. If I had a book to explain this, that'd be really helpful though. Okay. I think this is what I want to do, right? OCaml docs are good. I think at least. Oh, dang. Hey, thanks, Mitch. Mitch, did I see on the X.com that you shaved all of your facial hairs off? Is that true? Is that what I saw? Examples? I think, like, just go to OCaml.org. I don't know what you're saying. Like, I think OCaml.org has good stuff. This is indeed true facts. How does it feel? I think the learn stuff here is pretty... Oh, they even just update it more? Oh, this is looking good. I haven't even seen this. This is looking even better than last time. Oh, sweet. That's really cool. OCaml.org, I think, is using HTMX, yeah. Barely even heard of OCaml, but I've dabbled with Rust. I've used Bezi. Yes. So what I'm actually doing quite a few things inspired by Bevy. Yeah. The other places, real world OCaml is another good spot to look. If you know Rust, like OCaml is very similar to Rust in a lot of ways. Rust was first written in OCaml. Go back out in time for our baby shower or else I'll be in trouble. That's funny. So I think this is kind of the goal that we want to do, right? Like this is, ideally, this is how you would do this, right? Where basically you can iterate over everything. And you would get back some components. I think the only way I can get them back is this style, which is fine. That's okay. Then Rust was rewritten in Rust. Like, I'm pretty sure they have a self-hosting compiler now. How is it easy to switch from reason to syntax to normal? It's super easy. Like, literally, there you can just... where's the Melange playground thingy? Is this actually... How do I know if this is the latest one? Because where's the playground? Here we go. I'll make sure I use the right playground. Like, literally, you can just switch back and forth. Like, they just go back and forth. There's no problem. They're literally just a different syntax representation of the same thing. It's not like, oh, they're kind of the same. They're literally the same. So, like, watch. When I change this, right, if I said return this with 1 in it or something, like, the 1 goes over to here, right? And if I delete this 1, the 1 just, like, because you can literally just change them back and forth. So like, just pick the one that would be more fun. Elixir's cool. Like, I like the types in OCaml. I like types. Elixir's very cool though. All right, Elixir for the day job. True, and for fun. Tried Haskell once. Went poorly. That makes sense. You probably wanted to ship something. If you were shooting to write a paper, maybe you would have had a good time. But such is life, man. Actually, I think it would just probably look like, in this case, I think it would probably just look like this, comp2. Because the type is just... I use Haskell at work. In the past tense? Like you did it once and then you had to stop? Or what? Erlang VM Mind present. Exactly. I no longer work there. Well, that makes sense. You probably... Yeah. Lots of people use Haskell at work in the present tense. Chat, I'm memeing. People use all sorts of stuff at work. Just relax, chat. Just relax. When I write Erlang, I'm always doing gross stuff with bits. Erlang's also very cool. So I think this is the target of what we're looking for. They use it, they don't deliver. Your streaming machine, Calder. I'm trying my best, you know? I'm trying my best. Oh, chat, by the way, here, I think you can see it here. Oh, I forgot to check. Did my chapters actually work? Oh, nice. They did. Sweet. I'll pin. Should I pin myself? There we go. Pinned. So true. This is on a new channel. This is a new channel, Calder. This is the VODs and other sort of off main channel items. So this is where all the VODs are going to get uploaded. If we do, you know, sort of like a reaction thing, or those are all going to get uploaded here. We just started. I'm hoping to stream more, yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to start generating some stuff here, and we'll see. We'll just see what happens. Yeah. That's kind of the goal. Oh, what's up, buddy? The content pipeline? Engaged. Ready? Ready up? It's actually doing pretty good though. Like, this channel does not have a, like, I haven't, so the last video I posted was 6 months ago, and this is getting over 10-minute view duration. That's crazy. Calder, we won't exclusively do that. So this is actually really good for like the posting the first video in a long time. Plus 50 subs. This is actually going, I'm really pleased. It's really, really exciting. Okay. 1 of 10 is all I need to see. Exactly. Exactly. F-sharp program, this one is like things like computation. Yeah, F-sharp has a lot of really interesting stuff. I think it's very cool. How did you start open sourcing? You can actually see my very first PR here. I just did it. I didn't even know people did open source. I literally just wanted to make my status line have something in the middle. So then I did it. So, yeah. TH reacts to Prime, reacts to JS, drama of the day. I was thinking maybe I should react to Prime reacting to the professor reacting to Prime. When that video comes out, we can do TH reacts to Prime reacting to professor reacting to Prime. I do think probably we need to continue the chain. Yeah, bro, the thing that I'm like pleased about is that people actually watched any of the video. That's like a big win for a VOD's channel. Right? Oh, nice. Hey, that's great, Montel. I hope you're enjoying it. Okay, so I think this is the goal of what we're trying to do, right? So basically, like in, I guess this would go in lookup, but it seems like it should go somewhere else. Maybe this should be in world. I kind of feel like it should be here. So if we go to world, we can do like let iter, something like this, t world. Query dot t f, which is I'm like playing with the types. We'll see. Elastic OCaml services. Yeah, like what's the data structure? So right now, which it's a relative, we haven't done anything with archetypes yet, right? So for right now, it's basically just like we have some hash maps, right? This will probably not be incredibly functional because we're going to use mutable data structures underneath. I don't think you can get away with not doing mutable stuff for a game. Now that mutability will hopefully be hidden quite a bit, right? And like, hopefully it's going to be hidden, but okay, what can you do? I'm not going to focus on cache locality. Nope. I don't actually care about the performance parts of ECS. I only want ECS for the design style that it lets you do. My game should not be so complicated that it needs all of the craziest stuff from ECS, like Bevy style things, right? Yes, so it's possible that later we could go and we could do some things without mutability, but I'm really just not interested in trying to like, I'm not trying to do that either, right? I'm just gonna, it is true, Nola, that we could explore multi-core more if we do some other stuff, but yeah, Pants, I actually work with the guy who wrote that. So, yeah. Steven's great. Yeah. Yeah, Steven is super cool. Yeah, exactly. We can go back and explore doing some pure... So, right now, my goal is I'm going to design the ECS. I don't want to design it. I'm not going to make decisions based exclusively on performance. But I am going to allow myself to do some mutable structures. Some partially just because it's simpler, I think. And then and we'll just see what happens after that. Yeah, what if they want to change? You're holding all of your variables back. Well, the funny thing is, Calder, in OCaml, we don't have variables. They don't exist. What does ECS stand for? Entity Component System. How does GC impact an ECS system? It would make it slower, I think, tuple, but that's okay. Yeah, we can come back. It would also be fun to try and make it go zoom, but I think it's gonna go fast enough with what we have. Because, okay, basically what I'm thinking, chat, how many entities can you even have? Is a foreshadowing? Yeah, so I'm aware that mutability generally makes things harder in the math sense. Okay, fair. But I think in this case, like, the only mutable stuff that I have really is, like, hash tables, just so that I don't have to copy them all the time. I'm concerned about doing lots of copies for some of these things when I don't need to. And forcing a lot of GC pressure per frame. Right, so I'm trying to at least not choose the worst decisions. Yeah, I mean, the Rust one has tons of mutability. You just can assert that in the type system. Yeah. We can come back. We can come back and explore something with immutability for some of them, and we'll see. It would be possible for us, I think, for some of these systems to be run in parallel with each other. For example, it would be kind of cool to. So here's an idea that would be kind of fun, right? Is like for systems. I don't know where I should put this. We'll put it here for right now. Systems generally specify when they should be run. Some systems could say they are immutable. We'll say currently on type checked. Don't think I have a way for this yet. We have to wait for Jane Street to finish their modal stuff. But either way, right? So if you have an immutable tick kind of event, you could actually run those all in parallel, right? Like, you could totally do that. Would you need a without? We already actually have that. I called it not. But we could maybe call it without. So we already have that though. We already have a component. We have anding components. We have oring components. We have not this component. And we have with this component. But maybe we should call it without. That might be better. I don't know. Either way, we can change that part later. Yeah, I don't know. It does seem like you could put like a SQLite system and do a bunch of these. What's the plan to query for all components of a given type? What's the plan to query for all components? Wait, say that again, Nola. So is that GADT for a query? Yes. That's our query GADT. And we may expand this later. I realize that now if we should probably have chat showing up so people can actually see this in the hash map is ID to entity. No. Hash map is, I have two hash maps. I'll show you. Store. So we have a store. This is entity ID basically to component. But this component type, so I don't actually know if this is the best way to do it, but each component basically can declare, here, I'll show you an example. A sprite has an extensible variant that it modifies component, and then it serializes and deserializes effectively, or converts from this sort of like extensible type back to its T and out of its T, right? So it takes a component and returns a T, or it takes a T and returns a component, which is not the same thing as the module type that we have. We could maybe call this container or something like this. So it's actually that each store, all of these components are the same type. A store contains a mapping of entity IDs to component values. These components are all the same component. You sure are using first class modules a lot. I know. We could say same component, which is enforced by good coding, hopefully. Separate attachment for each type of component, right? So then we have a lookup. Maybe this is I shouldn't maybe call this lookup, but this is basically a component ID to a store. So lookup contains a map of component ID to store, which is used to go from a component basically to a store, which can then be used to look up entity values. That's like the start one. You ever use a debugger? I have used one before. Not query. Nope. So queries are ways that we can use components to ask questions of our system. I feel like this would be drastically easier if you use the O in OCaml. So I thought about that, but I'm not sure that it is. Because I don't think that I can do it. I think I still am going to run into a bunch of the same problems. Because I can't... I guess we could use... So I haven't played with the objects very much for OCaml. I know that you can do row polymorphism a little bit easier with objects in OCaml than you can with some of these other ones. But we're not inheriting anything. We're not doing any inheritance. So like, we're currently not doing any inheritance. We are doing some dynamic dispatch, kind of, but it's not really dynamic dispatch. We're just looking it up in a table. You can also do coercion to a superclass to make storage easier. But then where would I store them? I still need to store them in separate lists. Because an entity can have multiple components associated with them. In fact, like in general, you would want that. Right, so like I still have to basically do this anyways. I don't know what OLTP versus OLAP is. So I would still have the same problem, right, Bitmapper? So that's what I'm saying, right? Pigeon shambles. That's okay. Where'd Prime go today? Entity component system. We should just do commands, add, ECS, entity component system. Like Bevy is a great example. Okay. I don't know. So I think Bitmapper, because I need to store them and I can associate arbitrary components with an entity, I don't think I gain anything from using objects. Right? You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, I think I would have. Right? If I was making entities hold their data, then it would be better. But that's actually that's not generally how you do an ECS, right? Because the entities are just a number and you associate the data elsewhere. This lets me avoid doing inheritance because now I can just associate a position with an entity. The Scuffagen, that's me. Setup, what are you looking for? Like PC or something? Or specs? What did I call this again? Spec? Computer? There we go. Nice. Got it. ECS rabbit hole, and looks like there are more ECS than JS. Well, we're adding one more. Right. I don't care to make mine good for other people. I only want it to be good for me. It's some 27-inch 4K monitor from Dell. Nothing. I mean, it's nice, but nothing super special. Oh, thanks, Lithium. What's up, buddy? Okay, so this is what we're trying to do, though, right? So let's go back to world. And this is the iter that we want to have, right? In the sense that we want to look up each of these. How would I do this? Oh, man. So a really simple way would be I could have a set of entities. This still sucks, though, because we're still going to then go over all the entities. That's not what we want to do. Like, the way that I would think about, Mo Rust, exactly. Actually, true now, though. I'm writing Rust at work, Nightshade. Well, your first programming language is definitely the hardest. Work, not stream. Exactly. I learned MATLAB first. I write Rust at work, by the way. So what I really need to do is I only want to look at things that are at least one of these components, right? So that's the part that I'm trying to figure out how to do, Nola. Because basically I want to... So here's sort of the, like... Here's my problem right now. Is that I basically want to say something like... if I was writing this in Python, right? I would do something like for component in query.components, right? And then I would say like if but then we need to basically go like for you would do like this, like first component is query.components.pop, except you wouldn't actually want to do this, right? We could just say 1 or 0, and then we would do this, right? And you'd go like for entity in first component dot entities, something like this, right? And you'd go like if entity in component, or if entity not, right? Then you would like break, or I don't know, what would you do? You would skip this one. Yeah. So then here is like where you have, here's where we have entities that have all the components, right? Of the query. Before you learn like C, StandardML, Racket, Smalltalk, and Prolog, your separate learning. Yeah, those will definitely give you a huge range of stuff. What the heck is this syntax? What are you talking about, Zeth? What part? What's up, Crits? Hey, good to see you, buddy. Can an entity have more than one component of a given type? Can an entity have more than one component of a given type? No. No, you cannot. They can always only have one of each type. Oh, well, that's because I haven't written this yet. We're thinking. We're thinking in types here, chat. Okay, we're thinking in types. Well, Prime left and didn't raid you. Prime has more friends than just me, chat. He can raid anybody he wants. You guys are crazy. His stream died. Nice. So what's the if entity not in component part? I'm just writing this. So this is like if you have a query, right? Couldn't you just map over the relevant hash map? But I'm going to have to check multiple hash maps. A query can contain multiple components. So here's an example, right? If we go to our test, I am doing recreational programming. I don't have a license though. Hopefully that's all right. So like here's a component and it's an example one and here's a health one, and we want to query for things that have both. Can you imagine having 200? No, he wasn't saying my stream is dead. He was saying Prime stream died, I think. Is something like traits in OCaml? We don't have traits in OCaml. It's like 10 of the project roller problems in J, and I don't remember a single thing. Nice. Link the entities and components bidirectionally, iterate over one of the components in the query. I don't think that that's going to work. We're going to hopefully build a Vampire Survivors. This stream is dead to me. Yeah, because you can't ban me here. So take that. Isn't it like joining tables? It's kind of like joining tables, sure, but just saying like it's like joining tables doesn't make it easy. We may need to write some functors today. We'll see. How does Bevy do this? I don't know. Just build SQL. Well, so like TJ, what if you just built SQL? Wouldn't that be like the easy solution? Wouldn't that be the easy solution? Do you ever have a problem with Go Please loading very slow in large code bases? Sometimes, I guess. I don't know. SQL is always a solution. Gamedev and SQLite 3. I was thinking that it would be really cool to write queries like this, and then you just generate a SQL query, and like you do all of your ECS just as literally tables in SQLite. But I'm not going to do that. I don't think. It seems awesome, but the problem is like you have to serialize everything back and forth. ECS is basically just columnar database. Right. Yes, I think I agree with that statement. Yes. Well, yeah, that's why you hang out. Most roundabout ways to write SQL queries for users. Exactly. Your program is always eventually a compiler. Go get DuckDB and bind it to OCaml. I don't think we're going to do this, though. These rows are made for sorting, and that's just what we'll do. Dang, with titles like this, though, I kind of want to use it, you know? Like, that's a great title. I want to use it. But I don't think we're going to do this because I want to figure out how to do it myself. Right, but does this make sense? This makes sense, right? This is how you would do this normally. You basically then at least are only going to check for entities in the components. I mean, I could build a data structure that does this, right? In fact, this is why people use instant ID. Hey, thanks. This is why people use archetypes. Archetypes are combinations of components. And you can create archetypes in these, and then you just basically like store the data twice, I think, or maybe they just use pointers or something to the same. I'm not sure how they do it in Rust for Bevy, but like once again, I'm not concerned about having the fastest ECS. I just want to try and write one, and then I'm gonna try and write it. How much impact will the specific DB make? Well, this, I think DuckDB is a columnar database as opposed to like a table style database, right? So like, if you think about it, these are also column databases in the sense that like I can add arbitrary columns to the same ID, right? I think that's, I'm not super familiar with DuckDB, but I'm assuming that's why it was suggested. Got an idea for the first game you want to make? Yes, I want to make a Vampire Survivors-like game, closer to Halls of Torment, but then include some coding as part of the game loop. Sort the list, then match the new ones. That just seems really bad, though, Nola. I want to do something better than that. It's not that I don't care at all about speed. It's that I'm not gonna make speed the #1 thing, and also like I want to think about the problem, right? Using Vim as an IDE, well, NeoVim, and it's more of a PDE. Often like a column or database per archetype. Right, yeah. The way let in is format and OCaml is weird compared to Haskell. I don't know. You can format it a lot of different ways. Can't you store the components index based on the entity for the lookup? You just check the index on each component list. Right, so that's basic. I mean, that's basically what this does, right? I need to think about how to unpack the... So, okay, so here's the main problem right now. How do I do this with not? So this is easy if all you have is and. Like, if all I have is a list of components, then that's good, right? But the problem is some queries eliminate ones that match, right? So we could say like, oh, I want all the ones with position and sprite that are not players. That's where that would. So this actually isn't really correct because this is like only for components, right? Because then this would be like if entity, then you would do like for component in query dot excluded. Right, you would go like, this still doesn't work though because you might not have you might only have nots. I don't know. Exactly, we could make all of the mobs with such a massive brain. How do you fit it? Well, my noggin is ginormous. You can't see because there's nothing to compare it to right now. That's why I do just a green screen. But yeah. So that's why I'm wearing a green cap. That's why this is as close as my hands can go to my head. So, but it would be funny to make it HTMX dev and the vampires are just our web dev mods. So this is the other problem, right? If we would do like if entity in component. This actually isn't right either because you need to break from the other thing, but like this is the kind of the idea. So I'm trying to figure out oh man. So let's go back to our world here. Let's try writing something here. So let's start off with matching query with query comp component, right? And we could call F on, let's just say 1. We say like let's oh, wait, that doesn't work. Oh, right. We would do... We'd have to look up this thing on here. Look up dot... Is there a what? It's actually not. What would you call? It's just apply. What would you call it if you just want to call a function on this? If it's call. Ah, nice. No, that's not it. Iter. Oh yeah, no, that makes sense, right? Yeah, that's good. Is it like let ID is 1? Well, map, but I didn't want to return anything. Right, so I was trying to think what could I want to do something where I didn't return. Because these are like side effects that I'm going to do, right, on the iter. So since I called this iter, maybe I should have thought that this would also be iter. Maybe that would have been smart. I can go quickly from component to entity. Oh, so actually, is this gonna work? Is this gonna work? Query dot and left, right. Okay, so we're getting close here. Because the problem here now is we don't actually want to call this function right away. We need to basically say that we have some value. Right? So this is going to basically be like let find value. Oh, nice. Very cool, Hackastacks. Yeah, give it a go. Let me know what you think. Blazingly Slow Dev. Hey, thanks for the sub. Sorry, I don't know why it took me so long to reply to that. If I would have been thinking about it ahead of time, I would have led off with that, like, as a joke about being blazingly slow, but I was too slow. But whatever. Okay, all right. So we want to say, like, does query match? But here's like where things are kind of goofy, right? It's like, okay, so if I just have one component, right? So if I like, if it's only length 1, then we can just do this. So that part is kind of what we want to do, right? This is actually what we'd want to do. If we pass a query that's just literally a component, then what do we want to do? We want to component dot lookup dot, I think this looks up a component, right? So like let store is this t dot lookup comp in this, right? So now I have a store and I should be able to iterate over all of the values, right? So like should be able to do component dot lookup dot iter I store Dragon Maker. Hello. Imagine GTA 6 use your game engine. That would be awesome. The problem is that means GTA 6 would have to be a 2D game. So it doesn't seem super likely right now, but I guess you never know. Maybe they'll have a microtransaction to sort of like to like turn it into 3D, because that part would be pretty cool. GTA .6, exactly. Imagine another 10 years waiting for the next announcement of the trail for them to rewrite it. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so now we have a key and data, right? So then this would be like this. We can put this inside here, and then this becomes key instead, and this is key. Oh, nice. We can just do... Oh, right. We know that all of these components have this. So we literally can just go F key data. Right? Oh, I gotta say, let module comp val comp component dot component comp dot of component, like this, I think. What doesn't it like here? Okay, so I think I need to go like this. Man, I forget the syntax every time because I'm still not that good at OCaml. Where do I do like type A? So we need to do something like this. Iter type A T A query T int A units, and this whole thing returns units. Fun T query F, like this, right? This says type query comp type A, but instructions type. Do I need to say with type equals A here? I don't think so, right? How have I done this before? What? Is this because this is inside of query? Can I not do this because I'm inside of a different module for some reason? Yeah, that's what I thought that's what I just did. What am I missing here? Val comp. Oh my goodness, I did this last time too, and I just didn't type a T. Classic. Classic. Oh, and then this needs to be like this. Nice. Okay, so I was right. I was actually on the right track. Koovie man, hey, welcome. I have ZSH with like Starship or something like that. I don't think I have the rest of all my ZSH. What were you doing on your stream? Pedro, hello, hello. So this is what you would want to do, right? If you just have a component. Puzzle game in Rust, very cool. You need to generate the name. Others, you can initialize the results hash map at startup and then evaluate the query spawn entity creator destruction. So we may do something like that, Nola. I think that that's basically archetypes. So we may explore doing that later. So I think that this would actually work, right? For something that's just one component. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and do this. Let's go back to our tests. Let's try and write one with something pretty similar to this, right? Test. I don't know what we would say for this. Iter. Something like this, right? Create a new lookup. We add 2 items in here. One has health, one doesn't. We want to just look for things that have, yeah, example. That one's good. And then we can also do health query. And we can say health. And then let's go ahead, should be none. We can just get rid of these. Right, so then we can say let world. World dot empty. Let's actually do like this. Okay, so that should hopefully work. This does look rusty. What up, Scotty? So now let's try and do something like this. Let's do let counter is ref 0, and let's do something like this. We could add a fold and stuff later, I guess. We could add other functional things on top of this, but like for now, let's just do this. So we would have world iter. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna iterate over this world. We're going to pass an example query. So let's do example query. And then that's going to take function, which is going to take an ID and a value. And it's going to just anchor counter. Right? Oh, and then we should also iteration. Let's make a new one for this because I think these are basically different. Test case can iterate over single component query. Okay. You should write a web scraping library in OCaml. I think there probably is. Okay, so this doesn't assert anything right now, so that doesn't surprise me. Test with query. Right, so this does this. So now we want to basically just do if counter not equal to... So how many should we have for this? If we're searching for examples, there should be 2. Failed to count the examples. I don't know, something like this, right? Nice. So we can just make sure that this is running. Beautiful. And then we should just do basically the same thing again. Completely random. What do you mean? It's completely random. It just takes a ref, I guess, right? Like, all right, so now let's just do the same thing here for health query. So this should be health query, and this should be 1 and the health components. Oh, chat, it actually works. I mean, how funny is that? I mean, it works, right? I mean, this is for the one where we just are looking for things with just one module, but it's actually working, right? So that's really cool. Look, because we make 2 entities, or we make one entity, 1 and 2 here, right? X plus equal none without a function to read lines from a file. Well, you can't write x plus equals 1. Inker is like, right? Like you can't. That's not a. I don't think you can write x plus equals 1, right? Yes. Yeah. Yes. Right. I'm not disagreeing with you that it does seem a little bit. Yeah. Although, Crits, do you know if it does? It may do something. It may cheat. Right? It may be cheating. Right? Because it's going to do it externally. So maybe it is cheating. It just does it in C and does it really fast. Right? Maybe this happens a lot. But it definitely does feel very OCaml standard lib, I won't lie. So with this query, would you be able to get a specific entity and its components? In this case, so in this one, in this example, we can iterate over all the things that have example or all the things that have health, but we can only do them singularly. So this is the component ID and this is a bool. And then in this case, it's a float. Right? So instead we could do something like, we could count up. Like, so let's say this says it's 1.0, or let's just make this 37, or we'll say 42 because people like that number. Right? And then since you have a .0, it's 420, which also people like. So in this case, right, we could say 1.0, right? And then we could say something like this. We'd say health here, and we could say health. Oh, we wouldn't want to do this. This would be counter plus equals health. Right? And so then if this, oops. So this is like, now we're gonna, oh, do I not need this? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. And anyway, makes this call, doesn't it basically just call out to libc? I'm not sure. So I was saying, Scotty, in this case, I was saying instead of it doing this for integers where it's going to add 1 and then you have to like read from the value and add, and then like perform an add like this and then do this in OCaml, I was wondering if Inker, since it's external, if it just modifies like a pointer value directly. Like if it just cheats, basically. Try to add another one. Yeah, let's do it. So let's go ahead and make, we'll do 3 has just health, right? So 3, and this is 20. We'll do 20, and let's change this one to 22. Nice. Sweet. So that's working. So it's going to iterate over all of them. Good job, OCaml. This is turning out quite nice. Right? So you see, so this lets you do things with everything that has health in your world. Right? Are people following how this works? Right? Do you kind of get it? Like, this makes it so that instead of like keeping track of everything that I've given a health component to, and I want to do stuff with health, right? We could have something that says, we have a system that runs to check what things went below 0 health at the end of every frame, and then it removes those entities, right? All of them. It just removes them. This is why you go for this stop. This is why I was like, oh, I actually want to kind of try and explore this, because this concept seems very cool for making a game. I don't think mine's going to be faster than the other way that I had with like loops and records and just keeping the objects and stuff around. I think it's interesting to basically be able to say, oh, let's delete all the things that have less than 0 health, right? That's pretty cool. Well, that's even better. Smack, that's an even better one, because then we could say we should play all their animations. Right? If we want to add animations to stuff, we would just tag it with like a death animation and an animation value or something, right? And then you could have a tag. So for example, this is what I'm calling tags. You might have a different name for it other places. But like we have a player tag and a camera tag. You could have like a death animation tag, or maybe a death animation holds an animation event. Right? Well, that's pretty cool. Right? We can just do that pretty easily. You can add a death animation to anything. So that's kind of where we're at. Okay, I'm gonna go pee, get a little more coffee, and then we'll be back. I guess. I should be able to do. Takes a second ad. Okay, I'm gonna run an ad while I'm gone, right? That's what I should be doing. You only need a couple of heart stairs to see if it really fits. Yeah, well, that's literally what ECS does, though. Peach, that's what I'm saying. I'm not creating the concept of ECS. I'm literally copying like what Bevy does. Like this is literally how people are making games in Bevy, right? And other ECS things. Is you make a query that looks like this. Query, that things have a direction and transform, and then you do stuff with them. Right, that's literally what it does. No ads on my watch. Exactly, Wilfred. Okay, I'll be right back.